You're a wanted man, Peter Parker.
It was just an overwhelming feeling of this is what I need to do with my life. Of the previous material and just play it in the best way that you possibly can and hope that that's enough. And this is my side.
My dad has 500 officers looking for you.
I'm gonna throw you out the window now.
Emma, thank you so much for taking the time. Your movie Help was really popular in China.
Was it?
Yes, and you have a lot of fans.
Wow.
But now, when I see the comments before I come to here, and they said, okay, from Skeeter to Gwen Stacy,
right.
They said, what make the change? What appealed to you to choose this character?
Well, probably I auditioned for Spider-Man while I was shooting The Help. So there's probably a big element of she could not be more different than Skeeter. She's very different from Skeeter. She's falling in love for the first time, and it's so consuming. And no, you know what? That's actually not true. They're both very responsible and very focused on school. So there are similar elements there, but I think there was a kind of damsel in distress, swept away element that I really liked.
The what?
I got a job today, writing for the Jackson Journal.
You tell Aibileen. Do I have plans for her?
Change your mind.
He's on the way. He's coming to you right now.
There's 8 minutes left.
You're gonna wait there for 8 minutes after what I just told you.
I'm gonna get everybody out.
This is here.
Although the new Spider-Man I saw yesterday, a portion of it is full of technology and everything. Do you think at the core of the movie is still about the romance, about the love story, or?
Absolutely, I think it's about the love story. I think it's about a boy who lost his father and then loses his father figure in Uncle Ben, and is struggling to find out who he is and what kind of man he is without a solid, father figure anymore. Yes. I think there's a lot of interesting elements.
And when you first, what's your interpretation of Gwen Stacy in this movie, different from the previous trilogy in your personal point?
Oh yeah, I mean, Gwen Stacy was played by Bryce Dallas Howard in Spider-Man 3, and it was a very different incarnation of Gwen. So
yes.
So it was definitely a different version. Mine's a senior in high school, and she's valedictorian, and her father's the police chief, and he's on the case against Spider-Man, who he thinks is a villain, and she's dating Spider-Man, and her father does not know that. So there's she's pretty torn in that circumstance.
Every day for as long as I can remember, my father has left every morning and he's put a badge on his chest and strapped a gun to his hip. And every day for as long as I can remember, I haven't known if he was going to make it home. I'm in trouble.
And talking about the romance, and your another movie is really popular because it imported China late. It's Crazy Stupid Love. From non-professional point of view, people think, is it hard to do the comedy or into the serious drama, or they are different?
Well, I mean, they all kind of come from the same place because you're telling the truth either way.
Yes.
Comedy's my first love, so I really have fun constantly doing comedy. In drama, of course, it's a different environment because it's not as lighthearted a lot of the time. But it really does come from a similar place. The only thing that's hard about comedy is that when you're working on a movie, you can't hear an audience reaction because they can't laugh behind the cameras. So you never really know what's hitting and what's not, which makes it a little bit more difficult. But yeah.
A lot of your fans in China they made a comment that is how you pull that off. You come from comedy's background, then the Help, the Skeeter role is very a serious role, and the novel was so famous, and a lot of pressure, but you still can focus on the role and deliver the performance. How do you prepare to do that? How do you?
I was a big fan of the book when, yeah, I was a fan of the book, and of course, just like being a fan of the comic now. And I think it's the same as with Gwen and Spider-Man. You want to do as right as you can by the character, by your interpretation of it, and as a fan, you want to fulfill all the elements of that character, but at the end of the day, you have to let go of the previous material and just play it in the best way that you possibly can, and hope that that's enough. Otherwise, you don't really sleep at night.
Wonderful. And how much your earlier TV experience contribute to your current solid movie performance?
I didn't have that steady of a TV career before movies. I just did guest roles on a couple of shows, and I was on 6 episodes of a show that got canceled.
But you did some drama. You learned drama early.
Yeah, that was the first time I ever got to have the opportunity to try drama, because I always thought that I would just be comedy minded. I guess I closed myself in a box for a while. Yeah, so that was a really great opportunity to see that other side.
What made you decide to get into the acting career seriously? I said, okay, I decided I'm going to full-hearted to get into the acting.
I don't know. I was 11 and I really wanted to act. It was just an overwhelming feeling of this is what I need to do with my life. It hasn't gone away. What's your name?
And what was like working with Andrew in the Spider-Man? Was he as a...
Oh, it was fantastic. He's such an avid fan of Spider-Man, and he really was just completely dedicated to making that role as incredibly fleshed out as it could be. So it was really kind of an honor to work with someone who put that much care into the character.
In your point of view, Mark Webb come from a romance. He had this 500 Days of Summer, and what he contribute to this movie with that background?
I think, if you've seen that movie, you know that he cares about love and he cares about the human connection, and so there was definitely a lot of that throughout this movie. He was telling the story from the ground up, so he was very interested in the way that people connected and the way that all this went. At the same time, it's a very overwhelming, large movie, and so the balance of that can be difficult. So that was, I think, a huge priority for him.